Well, good evening everybody. Welcome to the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel for another round of the Legends of Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. My name's Andrew Mather. Very shortly I will be joined by Howard Mitchell. This is going to be round 5 of your championship. We're really getting into the meat of the season, as it were. Without further ado, let's introduce him. Let's bring him on. Good evening, Mr. Howard Mitchell.
Good evening, Mr. Andrew Mather. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us again for what I'm sure is going to be another enthralling round. And I mean it, because I think it's been a cracking championship so far, mate, of our Club 100 BUKC Legends iRacing Championship.
And what a circuit to be doing it at, mate. As I say, Imola is our host for tonight, fresh from it being the host of the Emilia-Romagna Many Italian Words Grand Prix, made in Italy, all of that business. Did you watch the Grand Prix at the weekend, mate, by the way, or did you catch the highlights?
I did, mate. I'll be honest and say it was the highlights, but blimey, weren't there quite a few highlights to be shown. What a race. I think if we can live up to that tonight, we'll be doing well. But
it is dry, as Mr. Steve Hicks says in the chat. Evening all, cloudy at Imola this evening. No Russell Bottas action, I hope. Don't hold your breath, mate. We know what our drivers can be like at times. As we say, round 5 of the championship tonight. It's amazing to think that we're already a third of the way through the season. This is the second appearance of the season of the Audi TCR as well. So the second of our front-wheel drive Legend mini-series. So if you're new to this championship, 12 or 13 events I should say now across the course of 2021, a third of them in this car, the Audi TCR, that has its own mini championship to crown a front-wheel drive legend. And of course we've got the GT Legend, which we saw last time out at Hockenheim, and the Mazda MX-5 for the rear-wheel drive legend as well. And speaking of Hockenheim, shall we have a look through the championship order? In fact, can you take us through that, Howard, to remind us all where we are with 4 rounds gone?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are, as you say, 4 rounds in, coming into this evening, and yeah, in something that we're probably about to talk about in a moment. Championship currently led by Mr. Anwar Barul-Smith on that 391 points. Next, hot on his heels is Michael J. Preston there on the 380, and Steve Hicks rounding out the current podium positions on 374. Down in 5th place there, Matt Horgan is your highest place of the Class 2 runners in the championship. And then looking a bit further down, I'm sorry, I hope I got ahead of myself there. There we go.
Not
Matt
the first
Horgan.
time.
Not the first time. Matt Horgan is the highest place of the Class 2 runners. And it is, who is the next down on that one? It is James Fremont, who's the next one down within those Class 2 ranks there, currently in 11th place. Now let's have a further look down. You can see how close it is in the mid-table here. Every single position is going to count as these drivers in the mid-pack battle it out. We've still got a fair few ties throughout the table as well. So plenty to be looking out for throughout the field. Still some drivers just at the bottom here who are looking to get themselves into the points for the first time. But great to see so many people taking part, mate, as well. Every time I load up this, we've got more screens to go through, and yeah, it's great to have everybody along. However, I think, mate, as much as we like to talk about how healthy the grids are, we should probably talk about a certain absentee.
Yeah, really genuinely sad to hear that our championship leader, Anwar Barul-Smith, has decided to take a step back from the championship. We fully understand the decision. You know, life's very, very busy at the moment. We just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Anwar for all of what he's done. Not just racing in this championship, but also he's been doing a lot of coaching of our newer drivers. And that was something he's done off his own back. He didn't have to do that. He volunteered to do that, and I know a lot of people have appreciated that. So I don't know if Anwar's watching tonight or if he's watching on replay, but thank you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's doing well. Hope to see you back out on circuit in the virtual world very, very soon, and I know we'll see you on circuit in the real world Club 100 events, which of course are kicking off this weekend.
Absolutely.
Right, order of events for this evening, which I don't think we've mentioned yet, mate, is we're back to the formats that we've had, or what may be termed the Mazda format. We had the two races in the GTs last time, but it's back to, I think, what folks are more acquainted with. So it'll be qualifying first, followed by 3 races. So the first race grid is set simply by qualifying, nice and straightforward. Top 16 reversed for race 2. That's the latest information that I've had. And then top 10 reversed for race 3. i.e., if you finish 16th in race 1, you've got pole for race 2. If you finish 17th in race 1, you start 17th in race 2. And then the same for race 2 to race 3. 10th place in race 2 will have pole for race 3. All races scored the same, 100 points for a race win. So obviously if you get 300 points, you will win tonight's round. And then of course that converts at the end of just like a BUKC round. Driver with the most round points at the end of the evening will be round 5 winner and take 100 championship points forward from Italy tonight. We should say though, mate, as we say, we saw the championship standings earlier, but coming into this event, Josh Ladd has won the last 2 rounds. Wasn't at round number 1, which is why he's a little bit out of place in terms of the championship order, but he's looking on fine form, as we've mentioned in previous episodes, and has a chance here to take a round-winning hat-trick.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been on form, hasn't he, mate? Very accomplished in iRacing is Josh, and yeah, you can't count him out. You cannot count him out. Obviously, we've got a bit of a, given the news that you and I were just discussing about Anwar, obviously there is inevitably going to be a bit of a change of the guard at the top of this championship as time goes on. But yeah, we have got drop score system, of course, to come in once everything comes out in the wash towards the end of the season. So the fact that he missed the very start is not going to be, well, other than that he has fewer drop rounds, so he needs to be on it more consistently, I suppose. But other than that, there's no reason why he can't really take a fight and put a legitimate challenge into to win this championship. Albeit we've got plenty of racing to go before that. We're all doing all of that, totting up with the scores. But yeah, he's been on real form recently, and it's going to be interesting to see if he carries that forward into the Audi RS3s, because unless you're going to correct me, if he wins this one, it would be his first round win in the Audis this season.
Yes, I think you're right in saying that. We saw the Audis last time, but the last time we saw the Audis was round 2 at Okayama. Yeah. Let's have a look at some of the chat. Do keep your messages coming in to keep them flowing, get the conversation going. Good evening to Kirith Cart, who isn't racing tonight, as asked by Nathan Maximum, because it is a Gran Turismo Sport FIA World Championships evening. We may jump on, yours truly may jump on for an attempt at round 1 later on this evening. Probably won't be streamed because I haven't done any GT Sport in weeks. But yeah, good to have that back. We definitely will have some Gran Turismo Sport FIA Championships stream perspectives on in coming weeks. But great to have those guys in the chat. Steve Hicks, as we mentioned, championship organiser. Hoping for some good racing tonight. Good evening to David Whitehouse as well, who is racing this evening, DW Media, and is getting onto the pace, I'd say, Howard, as we go through this season. Saw some of his practices last night, and is looking in fine form.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's coming on a lot with the pace at the moment, and that's always great to see. That in fact, he's one of many drivers in this series where it's just really great to see the growth that they're having, getting up to pace in iRacing, and yeah, I think that's what's making that midfield of the championship table so interesting is you got a lot of drivers who are improving, and David is definitely one of them. So shout out to him. Obviously, we talk to him so often. He's a big friend of the stream, friend of us here at Double Dash Motorsport Media. So yeah, going really well, and hopefully we're going to see him do even better tonight.
If you would like to support us here at Double Dash Motorsport Media, best way of doing so here on the YouTube stream is to subscribe to the channel. We're really close to 400 subscribers as well. Thank you for the continued support. But it'd be great tonight if we could hit that 400 subscriber mark. We should also, I think, take the opportunity about, as we've got 1 minute before we go into qualifying. It's just practice at the moment, so these cars are going around. They've not been missing any competitive action. I'm going to work backwards through this coming weekend, if you don't mind, Howard. Wilton Mill Kart Club back this weekend for the first round on the Sunday. Ourselves and Alpha Live streaming that one, so myself and the commentary duties, Luke, James and the whole team streaming that one. That'll be really good. Really big entry as well. We're touching on 250 drivers, I think, across all the classes. And new classes, well, returning classes to WMKC. I was having a little bit of a look through. We have, if I'm right in saying, 2 sets of cadets, 2 sets of minis, 2 sets of juniors and 2 sets of seniors. The Rotax numbers are up a good chunk. So if you like your short, snappy sprint karts racing, do tune in for that. As I say, that's over on the Alpha Live channel on Sunday. And we could not mention, mate, finally, and I think everyone is getting very, very excited for this because it's been a long old winter. Proper championship Club 100 racing is back this weekend as well, starting with the endurances, the longer awaited endurance championship return on Saturday.
Yeah, it's been a feat of endurance, just waiting for it to get back with us, isn't it? I always want to say this, for want of a better phrase, what I consider, when I say the proper Club 100 racing, that's not to take away at all from any of the BUKC action we've seen so far this year, but it's great to have that Club 100 season starting in earnest down at Clay Pigeon this weekend. And yeah, mate, we're getting excited. We got the emails. We were all nattering. You can tell how excited everybody was. We're having a chat just because we got the email earlier today, just telling us, here's what time to turn up. So yeah, there's a lot of anticipation behind this, and yeah, really looking forward to it, mate. And it's going to be great to see. So great to be there. I was going to say, I get to compete. We're competing in a thing. That's good in itself. So
I think we both commented as well. We're looking forward to obviously competing, but not having a massive load of pressure this season. As Josh Ladd is having major problems straight away here, mate, in qualifying. That's the second time he's rolled out the pit lane and had a crash.
Yes, I hope he won't feel ill of me. I'm not trying to embarrass him here. I thought we'd pick him up given his run of success recently. Not quite sure what the issue's been on his 2 previous pit exits, but he seems to be underway again now. But yeah, that was a little bit out of sorts, wasn't it?
It was a bit, and the qualifying session. In fact, I think he's realised he's run out of laps there, because the drivers only get 2 flying laps, so that's a bit of drama. Josh Ladd will start this race, or this first race, I should say, from the back of the field. There is Michael Preston. Very intrigued to see how Michael does tonight, on the basis that he is second in points at this precise moment. And of course, with Anwar not racing, he's got a big opportunity here this evening to take the championship lead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit, in a way, it's a bit of an open goal for him, but that's oversimplifying it, because you've got the pressure from the likes of Steve Hicks, from the likes of Josh Ladd, to really challenge him there. Tom Banks as well. I feel like I skipped over him when we were going through the championship tables, but they're very much in 4th place in the standings, effectively 3rd now, with Anwar unfortunately pulling out. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, as you say, mate, to see how Michael does tonight. But the opportunity is there. He can walk away tonight with the championship lead.
So here he is on his first flying lap. Love the gyro camera, and it's good to have it back here. Going into Tosa hairpin, very tricky corner. This is of course where Lewis Hamilton went off at the weekend in the wet conditions, heading up the hill now. And this middle part of the circuit, this second sector, for me, Howard, not only the trickiest part of this Imola circuit, but probably one of the hardest sequences of corners the drivers will tackle this season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really technical. I mean, it's a very tricky technical course, this one, and yeah, you've got to be. It's interesting, mate. I've never driven a TCR car around this circuit, so knowing exactly what it is, but what the challenges are is it's going to be slightly different. But you can see here, riding the curbs through the Variante Alto is going to be important, not to get yourself unsettled there. And if you're negotiating positions at that point, that could be a challenge in of itself. Not the widest track that we've been to by any stretch of the imagination. And then getting the braking right here into the Ravazza, we were seeing the best in the world in the F1 at the weekend, getting things a bit muddled up through here. So it's a challenging old lap, this one. It can be a little bit deceptive, I think. It looks fairly simple in silhouette, but it's not as easy as it looks at first sight.
Over start finish then. Looks like a good lap there from Michael Preston. Mike Hart currently, I believe, is top of the timesheets though, on a 1:55.057. Just wonder, I think Michael Preston, unless I'm mistaken here, mate, hasn't registered a lap, so I wonder if he had an off track somewhere around this circuit. Very easy to do as well, especially on the exits of corners. But Mike Hart at the moment, who we featured on the thumbnail for this one, because we do like that livery, the old school BTCC Audi livery. Very appropriate that we have it here. Now Josh Ladd is back out again, and I just wonder, is this going to register as his third lap, or is he going to be able to set one? See, he's had his issues. I just wonder if he had any controller issues, and that's why things were going
it looked
wrong
like
early.
it looked like it, didn't it, mate? Because yeah, otherwise I can't quite explain what it was, and it looked like it was as he was putting down the power in earnest for the first time coming out of the pit lane.
Tom Dix has gone. Sorry, Howard. Tom Dix has gone to the top of the timesheets as we go through 5 minutes. So his number 69 machine currently is set to start from the front row. He's been in good form, has Tom Dix recently, which is good to see. And it is a bit of a BUKC old boys derby at the front at the moment. It's Tom Dix, Mike Hart, and Steve Hicks, all from kind of, well, I like to call it the 2008 era, all from around that point. Racing for the likes of Loughborough and Birmingham. They're top three at the moment. Chris Hansen as well, Howard, if I'm not mistaken, currently the fastest driver in Class 2.
Yeah, absolutely. The question got answered though, mate. Josh Ladd was on a legitimate timed lap and has gone straight to the top of the times. Mike Hart's come in to post an even better lap time, but it's only good enough for third at the moment. Still Chris Hansen the fastest of those Class 2 runners, as you say. But a good lap there from Steve Hicks to take himself up to third place. What can Tom Dix do in his second tour of the circuit in this qualifying session? Is he going to improve?
3.5 minutes of this session to go. Sorry, Howard, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I don't think Tom Dix was able to improve there. Who's still on a timed lap?
That's Tom Banks, but I think he's completed his 2 laps. Here's Matt Horgan, leading the championship in Class 2. Class 2 for our less experienced drivers in terms of iRacing. Going through the very tricky Acqua Minerale section. Uphill now towards the Variante Alta chicane. This is where Yuki Tsunoda had his crash during qualifying on Saturday. Very easy to run wide here as well. Big curbs hopping across those. That's nicely done by Matt Horgan. Shifting up into 4th gear. 5th, and then you've got to plunge downhill into the Ravazza. So easy to outbrake yourself into this part of the circuit. And the track limits not forgiving. There's not much room for error through the first of the Ravazzas, then the second of the Ravazzas. This is looking like a tidy lap at the moment for Matt Horgan, who I've got scored in 13th place at the moment in the number 27. Through the Variante Bassa, across start finish. How is it looking for Matt Horgan? Just waiting for timing to tick around. I think he's staying in 13th place, Howard.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe he had a 1x on that lap, mate. I'm not sure if that one registers as a fresh time, but a good lap time whilst we were watching that from Chris Hansen to take himself back up to 4th. And as a result, I think he's quite comfortably our highest placed Class 2 runner there, with Murray Adams there in 11th, your next of the Class 2 runners, and Matt Horgan 3rd in that class.
Hello to Kieran Fitzgerald, big friend of the show, one of the Bobble Hat Racing crew. Hi lads, good luck, everyone's safe racing. Hope we see you back on the grid as soon as possible, Kieran. I know you're working hard wherever in the world you are. You're a jet-setting person around the world, which means you can't do iRacing as much as you'd like. But thanks for tuning in, mate. Hello to Matt Hale as well, who's out there. I'm guessing this is talking about the Audi TCR. It's hard to drive, Howard. Understeer and oversteer, plus it locks up easy. I'm super confident.
Good. I'm glad. Confidence is half the battle, isn't it? I'm sure he'll be fine. But yeah, interesting. It really is interesting. I think I was saying ahead of this round, mate, I'm not sure I've ever watched, I'm sure there has been plenty, but I'm not sure I've ever watched touring cars racing around this circuit, either in the virtual. I might have seen a bit in the virtual world, but I've never seen it in what we like to call the full metal racing, or full carbon fiber racing. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, this one.
Still a few seconds of qualifying remaining, but hopefully once the next 10 seconds are done, we'll be able to bring you that result from qualifying. Remember, this will set the grid for race number 1. Race number 2 is a partial reverse grid, so if you're in the top 16, that part of the result from race 1 gets reversed, so 16th becomes pole for race 2, and then the top 10 are reversed for race 2 into race 3. Howard, hit us with a grid if the graphics are agreeable.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Josh Ladd as our pole sitter. Did manage to get that lap in the end. And it looks to me, mate, like did Edward Keithley maybe put in a sneaky lap there just to oust Chris Hansen from the top 4 there. So it's Ladd with Preston at the top. That's kind of two of the key people we thought we'd see towards the front here. Good lap from Tom Dix and Edward Keithley to get themselves on that second row of the grid. Chris Hansen on row 3 is your highest place Class 2 runner. Steve Hicks alongside, so he's in the mix. Mike Hart, Tom Edwards, Adrian Goodwin and Damien Wong round out your top 10. Just going to have a further look down the order as they're getting ready to get going here. The Class 2s, Class 1s and Class 2s generally correctly in amongst each other, so we're going to have some good interclass battles right from the off here. Going to be interesting to see this one, mate.
Now we have a look at Matt Horgan on the grid ahead of this first race. What is the run down into Tamburello going to be like here in this field? Looking more towards the front of the field now. Tom Dix in the number 69 with a DTM livery from a few years back alongside there. Just waiting for a few more cars to load into the lobby. Michael Preston, the Quantum Racing livery, the metallic paint there, and Josh Ladd on pole position, so he's got rid of those issues that he had earlier on. We've got 2 alphas in this race as well, so Ed Keithley in the number 99 and Steve Hicks in his alpha. I believe we've got about 10 seconds before the lights go out. Standing start, of course. This is going to be crucial as well. Very difficult to get this car off the line. The lights are coming on then for the start of round 5 of the Legends of Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship here at Imola, and we are go racing here in Italy. Steady start from those at the front of the field as we're looking from the helicopter camera, looking down into Tamburello for the first time. Apologies, can't quite see at the moment whether it's a clean start or not. As we're here,
it's looking pretty good. looks pretty good down the order so far, mate. I think, by and large, that's been an admirably clean start so far.
Heading into Tozer then. Are they all going to get through? Here's the run up to Hill, where we've seen so many close bits of competition in years gone by. Then into Sector 2, this is where Lando Norris ran wide in qualifying and had his lap times deleted on Saturday. But Josh Ladd leading them down. Hill ahead of Michael Preston in second place. Looks like Chris Hansen's had a good start up to third. But this is just what we wanted at the start of the evening, Howard. A big, close battle at the front of the field. Looks like all of our big hitters are still in the mix.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bit of a ruckus further back here in the mid-pack, Andrew. Just a few, look at this, 3 wide, 4 wide almost, coming towards the Variante Alta. They're all going to have to sort themselves out here, aren't they?
It's a bit like Clay Pigeon last week, with the students trying to get through the S's as they go over the top of the Variante Alta there. Having a look at Chris Powell in the blue, black and red Audi there. Very much in line with his own personal colours that we'll see in the Club 100 Championship starting this weekend down at Clay Pigeon. Back with our leaders though. Josh Ladd will take us to the start of lap number 2. Michael Preston behind him. It's looked like he's getting in the slipstream there, Howard. He's going to have a go down into Tamburello.
The opportunity's not on from there, but he's looking racy here, and he's right on the tail of Ladd here on lap number 2. Does look to me, mate, like everyone had a fairly decent first lap, so commendable for everyone, as I say. Having a relatively clean start to this one means that we can get our teeth stuck into some proper battles. As Josh Ladd takes a good line through the first sector, and he's just, if anything, seems to have eked out a little bit of breathing space over Michael Preston. Just looking further back there, that looks like a good little battle going on here side by side between Adrian Goodwin and Craig Brown, and still side by side. This is they're not giving this one up. Adrian Goodwin in the number 29 has to give way. Aquinarali, but then immediately that was Craig Brown going off the road and giving the place up after what had otherwise been a really close-knit battle side by side, corner after corner.
Yeah, and with the field so close tonight, everyone gaining an experience, that's going to be very, very costly. It's probably more costly than it would be at the start of the season. It's going to fall a long way down the order and have a bit of a battle now for the rest of the evening.
I think he gathered it up okay, actually.
Oh, okay. Is he back on circuit? Yes, he is. Apologies. Yeah, he's back on, and I think he's in 8th place.
Yeah, so he gathered that one up a lot better. He got away with that one better than some of the F1 drivers did.
Whoa,
the weekend.
Contact between Keithley
There's a little bit of drama behind.
I think that may have been... Brown's got a slowdown penalty. He must have a slowdown penalty, and that's just caught the drivers out behind. So that was the number 99 of Ed Keithley, and the 58 in there of Tom Edwards.
Tom Edwards. Yeah, this is frenetic stuff here.
Through the field. Sorry, Howard.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what we were talking about, isn't it, mate? The mid-pack really battling away here. This is Edward Keithley versus Tom Edwards again here. Is this going to be a little bit cleaner? Edwards has a run, and he's got the job done there into the Villeneuve chicane. Nicely done there by Tom Edwards. But yeah, one wonders if there was a slowdown penalty of some sort at play there, because it all got a little bit frantic at a part of the track that usually the drivers are sort of fixing their focus on starting the next lap and nailing their exit onto that straight.
Matt Horgan coming through in the purple and yellow car, you can see there, a crucial runner in the Class 2 competition, having another solid run, as we've come accustomed to from Matt Horgan, not just in this competition, but the E60 Individual Championship last year as well. On board now with Simon Young in the number 20, trying to make his way past Matt Horgan, but this circuit, Howard, this Imola circuit, is so tight and twisty, as you said earlier. He's going to have to be ultra clean to get that move done.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to pick your moment carefully here. And as you can see in this, it's exactly the same as we talk about with sprint kart racing, mate. If you lose out here, it's going to be costly, which I think is why we were both surprised to see Craig Brown gather it up. In fact, it's Craig Brown now who's hot on the tail of Murray Adams in the battle over 13th place. But he's got Steve Hicks behind him. Hicks will be looking to make up some places in the remainder of this race, mate, because I think he's a bit, as they're pulling into the pit lane.
Okay, no one wasn't expecting this, but into the pit lane come these drivers. I wonder, it would be remarkable to get a black flag in this amount of time. We have got quite a few cars in pit lane with obvious levels of damage. But this has got to be for the penalty, because I'm not seeing that much damage to either of the cars. Well, that really has well and truly ruined their races. Remember, you've got to be in the top 16 to benefit from the reverse grid. 16th place gets pole position for race number 2. Not the start to the evening that either of those drivers would have wanted, Howard.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I'm not quite sure what's brought that about. Unless there was a black flag that. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what was going on there.
That is a good point. If they've not taken a slow down penalty in time, you can be given a black flag that you've got to come in for and serve.
It does look like, by the way, towards the back there was some sort of drama between Andrew Dawson and George Palazzi. You can just see a nice exchange actually to see on the chat, just apologising. For an apology from Andrew to George saying sorry. So some kind of drama has befallen their race, so that's why the number 23 and the 888 are in the pits, and I think maybe taking no further part in this one.
Yeah,
but have got 2 more races to go.
Good spot there. We've just also put in the chat, I think for the first time that we've tried this out for public consumption. We've got live timing if you want to follow that at home. So we've got the link in the chat, double-mm.com/live-timing. You can check on real-time progress of all the drivers. On board now, Howard, with Mike Hart in 4th place in the number 11. It's been a good start to the race for him.
Yeah, absolutely. As I think who's that? Is just okay. So Andrew Dawson there in the blue and orange has just emerged from the pit lane, and I think he's making way for other cars. Oh, and who's that off? So someone off to driver's left there. Who we just caught. It's a red car. I'm wondering. Might have been Craig Brown, because he's now in the pit lane.
Yeah, so I think if Craig Brown's had an issue, maybe he was on some new tyres, cold tyres, and has had an incident and retired to pit lane. Things get worse and worse for Craig Brown, unfortunately. There's Michael Preston, the Southampton University racer. Southampton, who we saw racing last week down at Clay Pigeon for rounds 3 and 4 of the British Universities Karting Championship, which if you missed out on, don't worry, the whole day, all the races, all the commentary, all the live streamed action is available over on the Alpha Live YouTube channel, and we should extend our congratulations to Alpha Live, of course, who hit 14,000 subscribers on YouTube at the weekend. Thank you for your continued support of Alpha Live and grassroots motorsport across the UK. They are, I believe, at Ed Keefler. I think it's going to be a slow down penalty. That's why Matt Horgan's just going around the outside of him. They're at Silverstone this weekend for some more 750 Motor Club action, so do go check that out. Murray Adams there in the white and red car, Howard. Relative newcomer to this series, but looking pretty good here in P12.
Yeah, absolutely, and looking for a move on Ed Keithley, who's on that little bit of a recovery after, it looked like he got a slow down penalty. Here they are heading through sector 1. Does he have a run heading towards the Villeneuve chicane? Actually, it looks like Keithley had a good run there, and if anything, he's under a bit more pressure from Simon Young behind, who... is that a Leighton House livery he's sporting this evening? Looks like it.
We always appreciate the retro liveries as Adams looks up the inside of Keithley there. This is Class 1 runner versus Class 2. If you're a newcomer to the series and wondering what the colours mean on the left-hand side tower, red cars or red positions are drivers in Class 1 for experienced drivers. Blue numbers are for our Class 2s, the less experienced drivers, and then whoever's green at the time is who our cameras are pointing at the moment. So at the moment, Simon Young is of course our green driver in 13th place in the number 20. 6 laps, we're on lap 6, 5 more laps in this first race after this one.
Absolutely. Mentioned, mate, how I was going to be interested to see how David Whitehouse got on this evening. He's here on the tail of Simon Young, so doing well at the moment. Running in 14th place. Coming up onto this pack of sort of 4 cars that he's got onto the back of now is one of the closest packs in the field. As once again, that looked to me like Simon Young was having a very earnest look at Murray Adams through there, but he couldn't find a way through, and if anything, that may have opened the door here for David as we go on board with him.
This long stretch then is of course where Bottas and Russell had their incident at the weekend. David Whitehouse not having any issues there at this stage. That was well defended actually by Simon Young into the Tamburello chicane. Very easy to clout those sleeping policemen on the inside of the corners, but all 3 of those drivers have negotiated that well. Just looking at the new live timing portal, Howard, on the Double Dash Motorsport Media website. Good progress in this race from Matt Hale. He's up 10 positions. Oh, that's Michael Preston! Michael Preston in trouble! That was the Quantum Racing entry of Michael Preston, who was in 2nd place in all this significant damage to the front of his car, Howard. That is him surely out of this race.
Yeah, big moment for the man who effectively comes into this evening as championship leader. And yeah, that is a very, very costly way to start his evening's racing. I don't know that they were particularly close. As in, I'm not sure he closed the gap to Josh Ladd, but I also am not sure quite how close Chris Hansen was either. But either way, that is going to be a very unhappy Michael J. Preston at the wheel of the number 19.
Yeah, well, that does promote Chris Hansen up to 2nd place now. Mike Hart up to 3rd, Tom Dix 4th. We should also mention Steve Hicks has been a casualty in this race. He's currently languishing down in 22nd place. He is still on the lead lap, but a long way behind where we would expect him to be. Just before I was, I interrupted myself. Matt Hale now up 11 positions and the biggest mover in the field so far. He's in 18th place. Meanwhile, we're on board with Tom Edwards, who is in the same position where he started, 8th place. Damien Wong in the white Audi TCR ahead of him in 7th. I do like the livery that Tom's running tonight. Quite detailed little number that he's got on there. Clearly a lot of time and effort's gone into creating that skin. You like that. We're on the 8th lap at the moment of this 11-lap heat. Tom Banks just ahead of them as well. He's in 6th place, and he's made some good progress in this race. He's up 7 positions from where he qualified.
Yeah, good job from the man who comes into this evening 4th place in the championship. You mentioned Matt Hale, mate. He is still battling away. Here he is trying to get onto the back of James Waller and Adrian Mertens, who themselves are having a decent scrap ahead of him over 15th place. And actually that's got to be, if I'm remembering the grid order that we showed earlier, that's got to be a fair whack up the order for James Waller, or at least he was the lowest placed of the Class 1 runners, I think, on the grid. So he's doing well to work his way up the order here.
Yeah, up to 15th place in the top half now of the 30 runners that we've got here tonight. Just to mention, Chris Powell and Craig Brown look to be out of this race. Josh Wellard has had issues as well because he's a lap down, on board with Adrian Mertens. Another Club 100 regular, who will racing down at Clay Pigeon at the weekend. Halfway through the time limit, we won't get anywhere near the 30 minutes there. The 11 laps will cap this one. As we cut to close battle here, Howard, for second place.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. This is real pressure that Chris Hansen is having to absorb from Mike Hart at the moment. Brilliant stuff as they head towards Tosa. I wonder if we'll get a... No, we don't quite get a Montoya Schumacher moment coming out of there. You were saying we weren't going to get a Russell Bottas moment. I can imagine we might get a Montoya Schumacher moment, but
yes.
We'll wait and see. This is touring car racing.
Yeah, we'd not be surprised if some of our drivers get a bit door-to-door this evening. There's a little bit of contact damage actually on the rear right corner of Chris Hansen's G3 Pro livery machine there. He's got good speed in the 001. Very much looks like Josh Ladd is going to come. You just saw him pass through shot there ahead in the Yas Marina Yas Heat liveried Audi. He's looking in fine control of this one. Good evening to Greg Smith, who's said hello in the chat. Keep your comments coming in here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. Thank you for another subscriber. I apologise, I'm not quite sure who it is. It's not notified who it is. But if that was you, if you were subscriber 395, thank you very much. Looking back now at Mike Hart. This is not a sight, I know from experience, that you want a Mike Hart bearing down on you, because he will go for the overtake if you give him half a chance. And he's going to get a bit of a slipstream here as they go towards Tamburello. And he's looking down the inside. No, Chris Hansen defends that well, doesn't get spooked by it, but runs a little bit too much over the curb there. This may offer an opportunity to Hart to set one up into the Tosa hairpin.
Yeah, absolutely. Very strong on the brakes into Tamburello was Chris. Managed to fend off any attempt there by Hart. Don't count out Tom Dix either behind them if they keep this battling up for the remainder of this race.
Change of position in 9th place. Matt Horgan is now ahead of Ed Keithley. We're going to stay with this battle for second place. Mike Hart hasn't had the best of luck so far this season. Had unfortunate incidents at Hockenheim which ruined his day when it came to the first of the GT Legend competitions. But down the inside now, that's an unorthodox place to go for a move. But brave on the brakes there, well defended from Chris Hansen, left Mike Hart racing room there. Good respectful behaviour from these two drivers.
Yeah, Aqua Minerale not noted for its overtaking opportunities, but I'm quite impressed actually that Hart not only made the attempt but managed to keep it together and didn't lose out too much time there. So yeah, still the battle goes on, but I stand by what I said. Don't count out Tom Dix. You can now see him very prominently there in the back of the shot. If these two come to blows, it could come his way over the course of the next lap.
Josh Ladd is heading on to the final lap of this first race of the evening. This great battle for second place. And this is almost your classic Imola battle, isn't it, Howard? Because it is hard to overtake round here, and you can defend. But this time, Mike Hart's got a brilliant run as they head over start finish, and surely he's going to have the position into Tamburello on the inside. Nothing Chris Hansen can do about that. Mike Hart is up to second place.
Well, that's it's not an easy circuit to overtake at, but that's about as textbook as it gets, isn't it? Brilliant run there from Mike Hart down towards Tamburello and judged that perfectly. I wondered if maybe Chris Hansen was going to be able to get some sort of switchback out of Tamburello to set himself up for a counter-attack into Villeneuve, but brilliant positioning by Mike Hart to hold on to that spot. And yeah, that was really impressive stuff from the number 11.
Still a good half of the lap to go, though. It's not over, and as you say, Howard, Tom Dix is not too far behind. Adrian Goodwin's on for a really good result here. He's in P5, but look at this battle. This is Tom Dix, Tom Edwards, Damien Wong, Matt Horgan and Ed Keithley all going here over 6th place.
Absolutely, yeah. This is by no means settled, isn't it, for the battle for 6th place down as there's contact there.
Yeah, contact between Edwards and Wong. Edwards ran himself a little bit wide and he's on the dirt. He's made a mistake there. It's going to lose in positions to both Horgan and Keithley. Hopefully he can get it back on circuit. But can Tom Banks close out for this 6th place here at Imola in the first race of the evening? And through the chicane now. But here comes Josh Ladd. He has been dominant. Bit of a shaky start in qualifying, but he got pole position and he's converted that into a race victory. Another race victory for Josh Ladd. 2nd place is going to go to Mike Hart with some great overtaking on Chris Hansen, who gets 3rd and top Class 2 runner. 4th place goes to Tom Dix. A brilliant 5th place to Adrian Goodwin. And it's a drag race to the line that Tom Banks should hold on for to take 6th place here in the first race of the evening ahead of Damien Wong. Good solid result for Damien. 8th place for Matt Horgan, 2nd in Class 2. 9th Ed Keithley. Top 10. First top 10 for David Whitehouse and 3rd in Class 2. Really getting on top of things here ahead of Simon Young. Murray Adams, Ben Bennyworth in there as well. James Waller on his return is P14. 15th for Tom Edwards, who had more problems than on that last lap. That's a real disappointment for Tom Edwards there, who goes from 7th place down to 15th on the last lap. A few more of our runners coming through now. Matt Hales across the line in 16th. Adrian Mertens 17th. Joshua Wong in 18th. Alan Curtis 19th, Steve Hicks only 20th there in the Alpha liveried car. 21st in the blue is Andrew English, 22nd for Michael Preston. So they won't even get the benefit of the reverse grid. Your pole sitter, Howard, though, will be Mr. Matt Hale, up 13 positions in that race. Biggest mover and a well-deserved pole position for the next race.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, really good to see. Really going to be interesting to see how he gets on from that pole position. And yeah, another good example of a driver who's come on a lot through this championship. He proved himself very much at one of our special events earlier in the year. Our first special event, in fact, wasn't it? The Legends of Oval. But he's really been coming on the road courses as well. So this one's going to be interesting.
We'll bring that race very, very shortly. Hello to some of our drivers in the comments. Josh Ladd says the tyre warming wasn't going well in qualifying. Well, it all came well good in the end. David Whitehouse seems shocked that he's gone from 21st to 10th, but yeah, solid points for David there. Steve Hicks is not happy in the chat. Slow down after put wide with contact wouldn't go away, shall we say. 16-second stop-go penalty. So yeah, we did see some stop-go penalties out there for drivers not able to get rid of slowdowns. Oh, but apparently stuck on 0.1 seconds. Maybe iRacing has done over the championship organiser. Matt Hale just says badly. What do you mean badly? Got pole position for the next race. It's a very good effort. Do keep it locked here, though, on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. If you did enjoy that first race and you haven't subscribed already, if you could consider doing so, that would be absolutely fantastic for us here. But I do believe, Howard, we are starting to get ready for the second race. In fact, the second race is underway. Yeah,
apologies, folks. We just picked it up as it was getting underway. We've got Damien Wong on the grass there and causing a bit of an incident here. This is not looking like as clean a start by any stretch of the imagination, and they're all going in various
that
places
safety
down
car
at Tamburello, and one of them looks to me, mate, like it's Josh. Yeah,
Josh Ladd cut a long way. He did a bit of what I think is now known as a Lucas Sullivan from his attempt at getting through the S's on the first go at Clay Pigeon earlier in the week. The field rolling through. Who got involved in that incident? Ed Keithley was involved in that. Looks like he's got significant damage to the front of the car. And looks like Tom Banks has had
that's Tom Banks
as well.
Absolutely, yeah. At the front, it's Tom Edwards who leads, I can tell you that much.
There's James Waller in the number 25. He's had a good run towards the front of the field. Just wonder, Howard, have we got a safety car on this one, or are the race control still running this one green? Coming to the end of lap 1 then, Tom Edwards is going to be your leader. Remember, this is the reverse grid race. So actually, no, Tom Edwards might have nabbed the pole position then if we had a couple of late entries to bump the order up to 17. Apologies for a bit of the flickering there on your screen. Simon Young is up to 2nd place. Third place for James Waller, who's another driver who's had not as much practice, so really good to see him up towards the front here. 4th place at the moment is Ben Bennyworth. 5th place for Murray Adams, continuing his good form tonight. So he's made his way up through the order, and now there is a yellow light on, so I think that means the safety car has now emerged onto circuit. So for that incident on lap 1, which I think is still causing some of the drivers problems, so this will neutralise the race for at least a couple of laps. Pit lane will now be closed. Race will remain at 11 laps. Tom Edwards is your leader. Simon Young 2nd, James Waller in 3rd. 4th place for Ben Bennyworth. Class 2 order at the moment looks like this. It's all the M's. Murray Adams followed by Matt Horgan, Matt Hale and David Whitehouse. Mike Hart is up to 9th, Steve Hicks in 10th. Those drivers towards the back of the field, Damien Wong and Alexandria Loro, will be able to catch back up here. There is Steve Hicks in 11th place. Apologies, we may have lost Howard for a moment. Howard, can you hear us?
I can now, mate. Yes, apologies.
Good stuff. So the Porsche safety car now out on circuit will bunch the field up and should be ready to go at the end of here, lap number 3. The drivers trying to keep their tyres warm. Chris Hansen, good result in that first race. We'll be looking to get another good result here. Great shot there, down over the Tosa hairpin. Fantastic part of the world, this. Beautiful scenery. And some very sought after houses, of course, for the lucky few who were able to watch the Grand Prix at the weekend from the houses and the villas dotted around the circuit. Here's the view from Tom Edwards. There is our Porsche safety car out on circuit. For I think maybe this might be the first time this season that we've seen the safety car out on circuit. Simon Young in 2nd place, followed by another retro livery for James Waller there in 3rd. I think the interesting bit for me, Howard, as this safety car should be coming to an end in a few moments' time, Mike Hart, we've already seen him had a really strong result, one of his best results of the year so far in 2nd place, sitting quite nicely at the moment in 9th, a few places ahead of Josh Ladd, who of course won that first race. So there's a good opportunity for him to to pull some of those points back.
Yeah, indeed, brilliant opportunity, and yeah, for several drivers in the field. In fact, this is a good chance to reset. Obviously, anyone who was caught up in the early contretemps as well. But yeah, some good opportunities here for drivers, and there are several who we've mentioned already this evening who need to pick things up, don't they? Didn't necessarily have the best first race, and potentially haven't had the best start to this one, but at least now there is the opportunity for them to make up the places.
The safety car going round again, I think, for another lap. So we'll go on to lap 4 with the safety car running. Just looking at time, I think there's only one driver who's not caught up, which is Damien Wong. I think he's in the pits at the moment.
Yep.
So fingers crossed we'll be able to get everyone out there running again. There's Alexandre Aloro, and just catching up to the back of the field now. I think that's Ed Keefley. So that is everyone back together. Ed Keefley, one of 2 drivers running the classic Alpha livery from the mid-90s. DTM. What's happening there? I think was that Alexandre Loro's system telling him to let Ed Keefley by. A little bit of confusion there.
I did get, yeah, I got an odd notification just came up on my sort of session events monitor over here that said that Edward Keefley crashed. Now, it doesn't look like he's had a big crash, but maybe something happened there where the game's telling Aloro to let him back through.
Yes. Looks to have all resolved itself now. So the order here in race 2, Tom Edwards leads the race under safety car conditions. Simon Young in P2 there in the Leighton House livery. James Waller 3rd, Ben Brennan with 4th. Murray Adams in 5th, Matt Horgan 6th. Matt Hale and David Whitehouse 7th and 8th. Mike Hart in 9th. Steve Hicks having a better run of it this time in P10. Chris Hansen, Adrian Goodwin, Michael Preston, Adrian Mertens and Craig Brown takes us to 15th. George Palazzi, who of course had a torrid time in race 1, is 16th in this one, so has potential to move forward. Tom Dix 17th. Peter O'Connor is up 9 positions from his starting spot, is now in 18th. Josh Ladd down 3, is in 19th. Andrew English P20 is up a position. Aiden Bliss, another driver who comes back in by his own admittance a little bit rusty, but is running well at the moment at P22. Andrew Dawson of Club100 Sprint Racing fame, so not the one from the BUKC, is 22nd. Josh Wellard 23rd. Tom Banks is 24th. Now we're into the drivers who all had issues at the start of this race. So Tom Banks 24th, Alan Curtis 25th, Chris Powell, Ed Keefley, Joshua Wong down to 28th, and then of course Alexandre Aloro is off the lead lap. And now at the back of the field, Damien Wong not running. I don't think I've left anybody off there, Howard.
No, I think that was a full run through, mate. As I believe this time we're getting ready to get this one underway. Murray Adams, currently your highest placed Class 2 runner, in 5th place. He's going to have immediate pressure when this gets underway from Matt Horgan and Matt Hale behind.
Lights off on the safety car then. It should be pulling in. There it goes, 2 drivers right. We'll be up and underway then for 7 laps here at Imola. Tom Edwards goes for it from the front of the field. Simon Young though, that's a really good start for Simon Young. He's judged that perfectly and may have a run down into Tamarello.
Yeah, absolutely. He's judged that restart brilliantly. And is he going to have a line down the inside here? He's looking for it. He's looking for it, and there's contact between the top 2, and he's off. Simon Young off at the side of the road as everyone tries to work their way around him. David Whitehouse looks like he may have had a drama as well, Andrew. He's dropping down the order.
3 wide as they run towards the Villeneuve chicane. Aren't they all going to get through here? Steve Hicks starting to fight his way through. Oh, and there's contact at a spin. I think that's Chris Hansen. Was it? No, Matt Hale. Matt Hale off into the wall.
It's Matt Hale.
The 333 off the road there. That's a real shame for Matt Hale. I think it was contact there with Simon Young. It's very, very close in the middle. There's a bit of a shoulder barge there from, I think that was Aiden Bliss, who's unfortunately running down the order now. Having a look at Adrian Goodwin in 12th place at the moment, the number 29, the Subaru Classic rally livery that he's got on. Looking very nice. Michael Preston up to 7th place, man out to 2nd place in the first race. This is an opportunity for him to get points. Looking back now, Mike Hart's closing in on another driver. Side by side between Simon Young and Michael Preston. Michael Preston's going to be through there into 6th place.
But is he going to immediately, yeah, Mike Hart following Michael through there. But one wonders, is Hart going to be applying the pressure here on the run down to Tamburello? Out front, it's still Tom Edwards. After what was a dramatic restart there. Indeed, here is your lead pack. This is James Waller in 2nd, and he's got Ben Bennyworth, Murray Adams and Matt Horgan. You can see at the back of this pack. Tom Edwards with just a little bit of breathing space here. Well, Andrew, a side-by-side battle that headed down to Tamburello that ended in a bit of argy-bargy. It's becoming a bit of a theme in the motorsport world at the moment.
It is a bit, but as I say, this is a tight circuit. Looking through the rest of the field, Steve Hicks battling in amongst it there with Simon Young. On board now with Simon Young. Looking forward at the Audi Romeo, shall we call. Oh, big slide there for Simon Young. Can he get it under the control? Yes, he can. Oh, big save, but he's going to lose a position there. No, he's not going to lose a position to the number 41, who's running very, very wide. That's Craig Brown in trouble again. Josh Ladd trying to find his way through the order. He's up to 12th place. Craig Brown's actually had a brilliant race. He's up 19 positions to 11th place. Top 10, of course, get reversed into race 3. So if they can work together, there's a bit of damage there to Josh Ladd's car. He's got a wing mirror holding on by a thread. He is going to get through, but if these two can work together, Howard, there's a potential that they could be sharing the front row for race number 3.
I agree, mate, but they're not working together just for now, because Josh Ladd has been wanting to get that move done ever since he saw Craig Brown recovering somewhat from his off-track moment, and he has now got the job done. So that is Josh Ladd up to 11th place. Battle over 2nd place. Sorry, mate. 2nd
place, as you say, Howard. James Waller, so doing well at the moment. Ben Bennyworth on board with him now in the number 96, trying to hold off Murray Adams. So Murray Adams again, another Class 2, showing very nicely at the moment, showing some good pace.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Murray Adams is highest place of the Class 2 runners, but because all of our classes are scored together, there's no point in him dwelling on the fact that he's in that position, or that Matt Horgan is in the same class as him behind him. He's got to be looking to make up every place that he can, and indeed it's for that reason that he's applying all of this pressure to Ben Bennyworth. Having a look here, and that was beautifully judged there, but to get the pass done. But is there going to be an opportunity for Bennyworth back into Aqua Minerale? It'd be unusual, but has got the job done. That was a beautiful move through the Piratella, wasn't it, mate?
It was indeed. I think that's one of the best moves we've seen so far this season. So the Scotsman moves up to P3 in the 210. Can he do anything about James Waller ahead of him? He's keeping an eye on those drivers behind. Preston, Hart and Hicks, 6th, 7th, 8th at the moment. Not making as much progress as I thought they might do, Howard, with the safety car. There is a bit of damage to the rear of Hart's car, you can see there. Those at the front of the field more than holding their own at the moment, and not that long in this race to go. We're on lap 7 already.
Yeah, the safety car has eaten up a fair amount of the race, and you're right, these guys really needed to get on it with moving on up the field, as we're on board with Josh Ladd chasing Simon Young here over 9th place. He's really onto the back of him in the last sector of the lap we've just completed now. Is there a run into Tamburello? He's got great overspeed here, and I think he's going to have the job done before they're braking into Tamburello. Oh no, they're still side by side as they approach the corner, but Josh Ladd has been able to hang on to that in spite of his wing mirror flapping around there. That was another good move from Josh Ladd, looking to take, if he can, a 3rd consecutive round win. But as we said at the top of the show, would be the first in these Audi RS3s.
Yeah, it would be a bit of a feat for him to achieve that this evening. Keep comments coming in. This race had a safety car at the start of it due to a multiple car incident at the start of the race. Just to run through some of the drivers still running, still trying to circulate around. I think there's been a problem out there for Chris Hansen and George Palazzi. Well, saying that, George Palazzi just hopped back onto the time screen, so maybe he's okay. Andrew English, I think, is in the pits as well for an issue. Damien Wong, David Whitehouse and Alexandria Loro all already out of this one. Here's Andrew Dawson in the blue and orange. If you're wondering why it says Clubman next to his name, it's because we have 2 Andrew Dawsons in the club. Not 2 Andrew Dawsons racing tonight, but we define between them as Andrew Dawson Clubman because he used to be in the Clubman Sprint Series back a few years ago, and Andrew Dawson BUKC, who used to race for Northumbria. But here comes Ed Keefley down the inside. That's a big move down into the Rivazza. Can he get it stopped? There's contact between Dawson and Keefley, and in a proper touring car move, shall we say, Howard, Ed Keefley is through.
Yeah, absolutely. It was all going firm but fair. He did have the he had his the move was on, wasn't it? He put the nose down the inside, but bold move, yeah, absolutely, from Keefley there. And is Dawson going to come back at him here, heading towards Tamburello?
Yeah, he's definitely got the chance. Can he get the overspeed and the braking right? He's having a half little look. No, I think Keefley has got the position secured.
Yeah, I can respect it, but half little looks are not what you want to be doing into Tamburello in many ways. He did well there, I think, to live to find another corner.
2 more laps after this one. Ooh, wide there. That's the number 67 of Josh Wellard. So Josh Wellard in a little bit of trouble there in the Simpsons car.
Yeah, finding it hard to believe we haven't featured him in a camera shot already this evening. No.
He's running nicely at the moment, though. 16th place, up 12 positions from where he started race number 2. It's very nice work indeed. Matt Hale here, 20th place. We saw him in the wall earlier, so this is good to see him moving up through the field. Cardiff University sponsorship on the back of this one, so I'm guessing this is Aiden Bliss ahead of us. Yes, it is.
It is indeed, yeah.
Christopher Powell not too far behind as well. Big thanks, of course, to Club 100 and G3 Pro, both formal supporters and sponsors of the championship this year. Winners of our championships, both overall, Class 1, Class 2, the mini-series as well, the front-wheel drive legends such as this evening, the GT legend and the rear-wheel drive legends, all receiving iRacing vouchers of various denominations, and the chance to have a free Club 100 test session as well at the end of the year. Thank you very much to both of those organisations for getting involved, as James Waller's off. James Waller makes a mistake down at Tamburello. He's going to lose a number of positions there. Well,
yeah,
that's a
expensive.
Costly error. Sorry, Howard.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what we've been talking about, isn't it? That in this kind of racing, you're going to lose multiple positions, as Matt Horgan has an interesting look there at James Waller into the Villeneuve chicane. And look at this, into Toza, and there's contact. There's contact there, and James Waller's going to be out wide. And this is all to that. Actually, Matt Horgan held on to that rather well, but Steve Hicks, the beneficiary there, Andrew.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate, and a lot of positions lost, a lot of points lost as well. board now with Mike Hart, 5th place. Whoa, deep on the brakes there. Number 19 of Michael Preston ahead of us. Very, very close out front. Into the Variante Alta. This is a superb race. At the front of the field, Tom Edwards out ahead, but it's a battle for 2nd place, which is really getting the juices going at Imola this evening. Looking back from Murray Adams, there is Ben Bennyworth, surely on for one of his best results of the season so far. Deep on the brakes into Rivazza. Preston and Hart closing in behind. Josh Ladd in 8th place at the moment. Mike Hart could be setting himself up here for a lead in the round, heading off of race 2 with 1 race to go. There he is in 5th place at the back of this train, the silver and red car. Looking ahead of us, Michael Preston. Is he going to go for a move? Ben Bennyworth to the inside. Murray Adams defending into the Tamburello chicane. Preston trying to go round the outside. No way! What a move by Michael Preston. He's got himself up to 3rd.
Hamilton couldn't manage that at the weekend, could he?
No,
That was a brilliant move. Brilliant move by Michael Preston. And that gets himself up into 3rd place. And this is the last lap, Andrew.
It is
so
indeed.
Can he go one better?
Murray Adams, can he hold off this charging pack? He's done a brilliant job so far in this race. If he can keep ahead of Matt Horgan, he's on for a Class 2 victory at least. He's defending now as they go over the top of the hill. That's well defended again. He's got good speed as they run down the hill now into the Aqua Minerale. Still 1, 2, 3, 4 very close, and Josh Ladd is coming into this as well. Oh, as Michael Preston nearly takes out the rear camera on Murray Adams' car. Up over the top of the hill now into the Variante Alta. It's getting so close. But look at the pack behind Howard. Horgan, Hicks and Josh Ladd all closing in.
Yeah, this is suddenly out of nowhere almost. It seems to become a 6-car battle here effectively. In fact, make that 7, all the way from 2nd down to 8th place. This is brilliant stuff. Are there going to be any changes?
Tom Edwards is going to take the victory here. What a brilliant drive from him under such pressure, dealing with the safety car. A fantastic victory, but who's going to take 2nd place? Murray Adams is going to hold on for 2nd place and a win in Class 2. 3rd goes to Michael Preston. 4th is going to be Ben Bennyworth. 5th for Mike Hart. Then it's Steve Hicks, Josh Ladd, Matt Horgan, James Waller. Simon Young is going to be on pole position for race number 3 with P10. Peter O'Connor, is he our biggest mover? Oh no, he's not. Michael Preston got 19 places, but he's definitely our biggest Class 2 mover. Peter O'Connor finishes in 11th place. Adrian Mertens is 12th. Ed Keefe 13th. Then we're getting into drivers who had issues in that race. Tom Banks 14th, Craig Brown 15th, Andrew Dawson 16th, Josh Wellard, Joshua Wong, Christopher Powell, Matt Hale wrapping up the top 20. Aiden Bliss, Alan Curtis, George Palazzi, Chris Hansen and Tom Dix takes us down to 25th. Alexandria Loro finished 26th, and David Whitehouse, Damien Wong, Adrian Goodwin and Andrew English. Well, a little bit of scrapping out there, a little bit of contacts in places, but ferocious competition here at Imola for race number 2, Howard.
Yeah, that one was a bit more frenetic, wasn't it, mate? The incident at the start leading to the yellow, but then it all got it crescendo nicely towards the end there again, particularly in that battle over 2nd place. And I think some of those drivers who we I think midpoint in the race, or maybe 2/3 of the way through the race, we said some drivers hadn't made their way up as much as perhaps they would have wanted to. It's like they just came alive towards the end there, and suddenly, it all closed up nicely. So yeah, really interesting. But we saw, a few more robust moves, a bit more touring car style in that one, didn't we?
It was a little bit, but not to worry. Race 3 is coming up shortly, which will decide who takes this 5th round of the 2021 Legends of Club 100 BUKC iRacing Championship. If you are enjoying the coverage and you don't mind doing so, please do press that subscribe button for more content here on DDMM. We've got more motorsport action coming up across the course of the week. both here on our channel and over on the Alpha Live channel, who we regularly provide commentary for. We'll be doing some vlogging as well from this race, weekend's racing down at Clay Pigeon for the start of the Club 100 season proper. So look out for that. And as you say, Sunday, the return of Wilton Mill Kart Club, which we're very, very much looking forward to. Not just that round, Howard, but the whole season. I think it's going to be an absolute cracker.
Yes, yeah, couldn't agree more, mate. And it's great to see. It's great to see so much stuff coming back for what is hopefully going to be a much more normal 2021 season, where we can really get our teeth stuck into some good championship battles.
It is indeed. We're going to take a very short break here on the commentary. There's a little warm-up session going on. We'll be back in a few minutes' time for the start of race number 3. Back here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel, we're getting ready for race number 3, our final race of the evening here at Imola. Andrew Mather and Howard Mitchell on commentary duties for you, as ever, here for the 2021 iRacing Legends of Club 100 and BUKC Championship. Keep your comments coming in. If you can like the video as well and share it out, let people know we're racing here this evening. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But Howard, we've seen 2 fantastic races so far this evening. What are you expecting from the third? Apologies, mate. I need to put your fader up. Try that.
Thank you very much. I was going to say, I don't expect the pattern to change, mate. I think we're going to see a great third race, and these drivers are just getting ever more confident in these Audis. So, going to be interesting to see this last race of the evening.
And away we go for race number 3. Simon Young will take us from pole position, but James Waller will challenge surely as they head down into the Tamburello for the first time in this one. 11 laps for them to complete. Again, Horgan down the inside for P3. Josh Lodge trying to go around the outside in the black and turquoise car there, and it's got P3 off of Matt Horgan. But Simon Young will lead us down to the Villeneuve chicane. Oh, it's a bit of a mess at the back of the field. How many cars were involved in that one? I think, yes, we've got another safety car out at the start of this one. Craig Brown's in trouble again there, Howard. Drivers trying to race through from the back of the field.
Yeah, apologies there. We had a bit of a problem with our overhead shot at the start, but several cars there involved in his Edward Keithley moving quite slowly.
He's got a lot of damage as well to the front of the car. Look at the front left wheel. That is gone. We're under safety car conditions, but that's going to be a long limp back to pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, Craig Brown, George Palazzi, I think they've all been involved in this.
Peter O'Connor has been involved as well. So for the second time this evening, the safety car is out. This time on lap 1. Oh, look at the damage to Andrew Dawson's car as well on the front right. It's so damaged it's running through the earth.
Yes.
Still will be 11 laps. But I thought that start was quite well defended by Simon Young. He had a challenge from James Waller. He's been able to keep it together. But Josh Ladd trying to recover. I mean, he did a classic damage limitation job in race number 2, I thought, Howard. And now he's in P3.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Good to get the round.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why he's been on such a run of success recently. He's able to work his way up through the field. He's also able to control the race if he's at the front of it. He's got that package together at the moment, and well, we wondered how good he was going to be in the Audis tonight. Turns out he can definitely take the fight here, but we don't have the live points, I'm afraid. But it's not over yet. It's not in the bag for him by any stretch of the imagination. There's a few other people who can take this one, but he is exactly where he wants to be, as you say, mate. Michael J. Preston as well, with a couple of spots made up on that first lap as well.
Yep.
As Andrew Dawson's he went straight on there at Ravazza, so he's definitely had a few issues with his car.
It's back with the leaders then, behind the Porsche safety car for the second time tonight. Great shot again there. Simon Young in the green and white car at the front of the field. James Waller in the red and white P2. There is Josh Ladd, black and turquoise green in P3. Board with Aiden Bliss, who's in 17th place under this safety car. Good to have him back. Cardiff University racer. And we should say as well, Howard, don't get a chance to do the podcast these days where we go through each and every BUKC team in great detail because of schedules at the moment. Cardiff University, great to see them back in the mains championship in the BUKC for a kick-off and doing pretty well this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely having a good one there. Yeah, it's great to have them back in that mains championship.
Coming from Josh Ladd that this is going better than BUKC with my Sony engine. There's no criticism of engines in this realm, Josh. But I sure know what you mean there. P3 at the moment. Aiden Bliss, seen that shot of him again. The team with John Ratcliffe, we had in the box at Clay Pigeon. Hello to John if you're watching, Mr. Moto Meerkat, regular viewer of the channel. go check out his channel as well. It's doing very, very well. Did a video in the last week all about the Tuned cartoon series, which is very enjoyable. So the safety car, I presume, yes, is going round for another lap because we've not quite caught up all of our some of our runners in pit lane. As what's going on there? Is that, that's Chris Hansen going into pit lane. Well, he's got a lot of damage on the front of the car. Everyone's sprayed out a bit towards the back of the field, so maybe Chris Hansen's thinking pit now, do a fast repair. Fast repairs are available. Get back in the race. Now, some of these cars I think are going to be a lap down, but now released out of pit lane. There's Adrian Goodwin recovering. Chris Hansen in the 001, as I say. Very good, fast repair, using it effectively. Hasn't lost too much time there. I think that was pretty wise from Chris Hansen using that opportunity because he's kept himself on the lead lap.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these drivers are being very savvy here to get all of the war wounds repaired. Also still behind the safety car.
Oh, now Alexandria Loro. Is that going to be deemed allowable? Because Craig Brown was out of pit lane, although he hadn't crossed the white line. So we'll see what iRacing's virtual race controller says about that one. Whoa, was almost an issue there for Peter O'Connor, nearly running into the back of Craig Brown under safety car.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. In the previous race, there was a little bit of chatter amongst the drivers about it's. I don't think it's the easiest circuit to be behind the pace car, mate. I think you know, when it all tightens up at the chicanes, it can get a little bit tight for some of these drivers, particularly if they're doing a bit of weaving and all of that stuff. That is half to warm the tyres and half to bolster yourself psychologically, I often feel. But yeah, it can be a little bit difficult around this track, and it's not a very fast pace car that they've got either, so it can bunch up quite a bit.
So I'm just looking at the live timing. double-mm.com/live-timing. If you do want to, if you've got a second screen, we say this with alpha time as well, don't we? If you've got a second screen, a second monitor or a tablet or something of that description, pull up the live timing that we've got over on the DDMM website for you, and you can see all the drivers, their car numbers, how they've moved up and down the order in the race, what class they're in, and how many laps they've completed as well. And you'll be able to see that most drivers are onto their third lap. I think we've just got Chris Powell and Peter O'Connor. So it wasn't Peter O'Connor who nearly ran into the back of somebody in the safety car. Apologies, Peter. I did you a disservice there. But those two drivers, I think, are just trying to catch up onto the back of the field. But after this, we should be ready to go racing again here at Imola.
Andrew Dawson as well here, trying to catch up onto the back. Andrew, his car looking distinctly better than the last time we had a look at him.
Great work by the virtual team there, and
we're going green again.
Yeah, we are green. I'm saying that was fairly fast paced for under a safety car. So away we go then. Lap 4 of this 11-lap race, and Simon Young again on the safety car, Howard, with lightning reactions.
Yeah, judged that brilliantly, but further back we've got plenty of battling here. We've got Steve Hicks challenging the back of Matt Horgan over 4th place. And Michael J. Preston with close attention to Mike Hart as well.
Change for P2. Josh Ladd has got past. Oh, there's a big incident there towards the back. The 264 of Joshua Wong was involved, and Chris Powell's going for a spin into the Villeneuve chicane as well. Oh, and who's that off stage right? It might be Chris Hansen, and he's lost a wheel. Errant wheel on circuit, so it's a bit of a mess at the back there for some of our drivers. There won't be another safety car though. Safety car only comes out after a first lap incident. It takes out a threshold of cars. On board now with Steve Hicks though, Howard, P5, looking at Matt Horgan again for 4th.
Yeah, indeed, through Aqua Minerale they go. Horgan's done a brilliant job so far this lap to hold off. It's been a lot of pressure from Hicks on this restart as they head up to the Variante Alta. Brilliant stuff this at the moment as they all file their way through the it's always single file through there. Matt Horgan pushing the very limits on corner exit, possibly even going beyond them. But look up ahead, Josh Ladd challenging for the lead of this race as they head down to the Ravazzas.
Yeah, but Simon Young won't give this one up. Fights for it hard and fairly, but yeah, Josh Ladd back to the lead of this race then, with 7 laps to pilot here at Imola. Looks like Hicks has got past Horgan there. Edwards is pushing Preston along. On board now with Tom Edwards. A face full of Quantum Racing. Entry there with, and bumping around a little bit there. Need to be careful, boys, that you don't have a similar incident to what angered Toto Wolff at the weekend. Preston is down the inside of Horgan into Tamburello, and he's got the position. Nice move.
Yeah, lovely stuff. And look, oh goodness me, further back here into Tamburello.
Josh Wellard and Damien Wong involved, and there was a third car as well taken out in all of that. Trying to look back and see who it was. Was it Tom Dix? Yes, it was Tom Dix, who had such a good start to proceedings this evening, but it's all gone wrong for him. Several cars in the pits actually. Matt Hale, David Whitehouse, Peter O'Connor, Josh Wong, Chris Hansen, Chris Powell, Andrew English, all in trouble here in the mid stages of this third race of the evening. Down the inside, Mike Hart's going for a move on Tom Edwards. Supremely done. Mike Hart's overtaking tonight, Howard, has been spot on.
Yeah, oh goodness me, we are right up against my heart here as we jumped on board with Tom Edwards. Oh, and he's gone wide though, coming out of Aqua Minerale, and that's going to have allowed Murray Adams through up into 8th place. And Tom Banks is now looking to get a piece of the action here.
Yeah, Tom Banks, who had a quiet race too, trying to get back in amongst it in race 3, finished 6th in the first race of the evening, so he's on for a good haul of points yet again, as we're now riding on board with Aiden Bliss, fighting alongside, I think that might be Ben Bennyworth, if I'm, no, Ben Bennyworth is a little bit further ahead in the D&D wildcard entry. That's him getting past Adrian Mertens for 12th place. Apologies, Adrian.
This has been very lively off of the restart, hasn't it? Here is Michael J. Preston going side by side with Steve Hicks. This is in the battle over 4th place, side by side. And Preston is going to have the inside line, gets the job done nicely by the apex of Tamburello chicane.
Another good move by Michael Preston there. Field pushing hard, you can see everybody straining around this circuit, trying to keep it within track limits. James Waller you're looking at now, looking back from James Waller. There is Michael Preston in 4th place, into the Tosa hairpin. Slightly different lines being applied there between the drivers. We are pretty much halfway through this race now. 5.5 laps completed, 5.5 laps to go. Josh Ladd is your leader. Oh, as Ed Keithley is off down at Tosa. He's had a tough race, this one, and is currently in 19th place.
This is George Palazzi. Oh, as going wide there was that Alan Curtis going wide through Piratella, and he's going to have to recover that carefully. Doesn't want to swipe across anybody on the road. Manages to gather it back up there. That was a heart in the mouth moment there for Alan Curtis. He's recovered to 16th place. And behind him is this battle between Adrian Goodwin and Craig Brown, heading up to the Variante Alta. They're going to have to sort themselves out some way, shape or form. Going across the grass there in avoidance for Goodwin, and it means he's going to lose out.
I suppose that was as I say, one shape or form. It was just across the grass, and he might have got a slowdown penalty as a result of that. Immediately fighting back though down the inside of the 722, being Peter O'Connor. Peter O'Connor unfortunately a lap down on the rest of the field. Back with the fight at the front of the field. It's second place. It's all been about second place tonight, hasn't it? James Waller trying to defend from Michael Preston in amongst that group. On board again with Preston. Through the Villeneuve chicane. You do get the sense Preston's got a little bit more pace, and he's looking down the inside now into Tozer to try and get past James Waller. Does so. Here comes Steve Hicks though. Oh, Steve Hicks can get both of them. We're going to be 3 wide off of the Tozer hairpin. Surely this isn't going to end well, chaps. Steve Hicks squeezes Waller out there. We'll have the inside for the next left-hander. This could be a supreme bit of racing from Steve Hicks if he gets both of these positions in one. They're still side by side as they run down into the Agua Minerale. There's a back marker in the way. It's Chris Powell. He's just about held himself to driver's right, but finally Michael Preston has got second place. Steve Hicks is slow off of the Agua Minerale. He's under attack again now from James Waller back at the inside. Here comes Mike Hart as well. How do you like your touring car racing, folks? This is brilliant stuff here at Imola, and Waller is back into third.
Absolutely fantastic stuff, and it's just allowing the train to get longer and longer now, mate. Murray Adams and Tom Edwards are looking to join the battle at the tail of this as well. This is brilliant, brilliant stuff, and we've still got a fair few laps of this one to go.
Mike Hart looking good for an overall podium tonight, but he wants more. He wants to try and get, I think, up to second place and stop Josh Ladd taking this hat-trick of round victories in the Legends of Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. He's in the slipstream now of Steve Hicks. Hicks there in the Audi Romeo in P5. James Waller in P6. Waller trying to go around the outside there into Tamburello. That's not quite going to work this time. Oh, Hicks is very, very close on the rear bumper coming through Tamburello. It's side by side between Murray Adams and Matt Horgan as well, and that's a change for the lead, Howard, in Class 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Murray Adams now to the fore within that subclass as they work their way out of the Villeneuve chicane. Brilliant, brilliant stuff here. Really enjoying this battle between these drivers. Plenty of other battles going on down the field. In fact, just whilst this has got a calm moment, we can take a look here. Good battle going on between Aiden Bliss and Adrian Mertens. This is over 12th place and effectively third within your Class 2.
You read my line as well. Aiden Bliss up 9 positions, one of the biggest movers in this race. George Palazzi just behind these two as well is also up 9 positions. Some good progress from George. Biggest mover, I think there is Damien Wong, is up 13 positions at the moment, is in P15. There he is in the double 8. 3 laps to go then here at Imola, as Wong goes for a bit of a move, and still this train, the Waller train, is fully in force here as Michael Preston has closed in on Simon Young. Josh Ladd is well and truly gone. I think his race win is at least secure. It's just a question of whether he's ahead enough on points to take the round victory. We'll stick around to get that result for you, don't worry. Here comes Michael Preston again. 2 drivers left, trying to set up the move down the inside into Tamburello. We've seen him do this a couple of times so far tonight, and there's another one, Howard.
Yeah, brilliant move there. Is there going to be any response from Simon Young heading towards the Villeneuve chicane? As behind them, by the way, keep your eyes peeled in the backer shot as well, because Steve Hicks is doing battle with James Waller again over 4th place.
I think he may be
I think that's job done.
Yeah,
indeed. Well, we joined the mid-exchange.
Mike Hart has got through as well. As you say, Howard, Mike Hart has got through. Whoa, Murray Adams down the inside there, going for P6. Tom Edwards is now trying to make a move on Matt Horgan. And, very much touring car action there, door to door. It's like Matt Neal and Jason Plato out there. Tom Banks is involved in this one as well, in 10th place in the V8 Supercars livery, the Shell V-Power entry. Ben Bennyworth has been very impressive tonight. D&D Wildcard Racing, good to see representation for them up at the front of one of these fields. On board now with Tom Edwards. 9th place for him at the moment. Winner of race number 2, so started this race A position further back in 10th. Through the chicane they go, and this really could go any way. It's being so close out there, and Steve Hicks isn't really pulling away, Howard.
No, that's the thing to note, isn't it? That having got to the head of this field, Mike Hart is definitely not letting him get away, as Matt Horgan there has to go a bit defensive into Ravazza, so long as he doesn't go too deep and leave himself exposed to attack coming onto this all-important start-finish straight. We're on board with Tom Edwards again. Does he have a run here on Matt Horgan for the 8th place? He's in the slipstream. See Mike Hart ahead, flashing his headlights, trying to distract Steve Hicks. Meanwhile, the battle over 8th place heads into, and there's traffic as well coming into play, and that's going to put Matt Horgan wide, and that's going to put Tom Edwards off as well.
Yeah, that's why you had Hicks and Hart flashing on the lights. There was a back marker involved there, and poor Tom Edwards caught out by that. Tom Banks was a good beneficiary because he's gained at least 1 position, maybe 2. Oh, but that is gutting for Tom Edwards. It really has been a bit of an up and down night for him. And back with Murray Adams now, who's gained another position. He's up to P6.
Yeah, indeed. Got by James Waller, who we now look back towards. This one's going to stay dramatic till the end, I think, and let's not count out the fact that what's the gap between Steve Hicks and Simon Young? Because I think Mike Hart and Steve Hicks might be working together just a little bit at the moment to see if they can get onto the back, but I think that might be short-lived, actually. I think they may give up on that quite quickly and begin the battle. In fact, yeah, I think this is going to be an entertaining one here between these two drivers. You can see how hard Mike Hart is pushing over the curbs there at the Variante outer chicane.
Yeah, they know each other well. As you say, Howard, there's not long to go here. A couple of corners more, and then it's the final lap. And there's still a bit of a gap there to Simon Young ahead of them. Hart. Oh, now has Hart got a penalty? He's slowed down there. I think he's got a slowdown penalty. That's going to drop him into the clutches of Murray Adams. That could be a crucial part of this round, because is Murray Adams now going to have a slipstream into Tamburello?
Let's see, he can't take anything too risky because James Waller is right there with him. I think he's a little far back at this point in the straight to have a run. Yeah, Mike Hart, I think, has cleared that one off well, as there's a big moment there for Murray Adams through the Tamburello chicane. Manages to keep it together, but if ever James Waller needed a bit of blood in the water there to see that there's a move possibly on there, he's going to be right on him here.
News regards Tom Edwards. He has retired to the pits, so that's a real shame for the driver of the number 58. Looking a little bit further back, here's George Palazzi in the 888, the Falcon liveried car. He's got a Damien, no, he's not got a Damien Longwood behind him, because that is a Double Dash Motorsport Media liveried.
It is.
I think it might be Chris Hansen.
It might well be. I think of more interest to Palazzi right now, though, is going to be Adrian Mertens and Aiden Bliss ahead of him, both fellow Class 2 runners to him. So this is your battle for...
Oh, apologies, it's David Whitehouse. It's David Whitehouse with the best seat in the house at the moment.
Yeah.
In the black car behind. And Palazzi's on the grass as he's trying to get past Adrian Mertens here. Last of the late breakers into the chicane. Can Palazzi get through? Yes, he can. Well, that is a very nice move from George Palazzi, as I think our leader is coming to the finish. And in fact, there he is across. Josh Ladd wins it. Simon Young is going to take a third place. Michael Preston second. Simon Young in third. Steve Hicks in fourth. Fifth place to Mike Hart. A very good night for him. Sixth place and top in Class 2. And the chaos begins, ladies and gentlemen. James Waller, 7th. Matt Horgan, 8th. 9th for Tom Banks. 10th for Ben Bennyworth. Apologies for the flickering. 11th place was Aiden Bliss. 12th, George Palazzi. 13th, Adrian Mertens. 14th, Damien Wong. 15th for Ed Keithley. 16th, Adrian Goodwin. waiting for the rest of them to come over the line now. Alexandre Loro should be in 17th place, as we've got a battle here. This is over 18th place between... no, it's not, because that's one of the cars.
It's Tom Dix versus... Yeah, Tom Dix versus Chris Hansen over 22nd place, mate. This is them still on their last tour of the circuit.
Apologies, I thought it was another one of the drivers, but you're absolutely right. This is over position. It looks like Chris Hansen's taken it.
Yep, that was not a good run through Aqua Minerale for Tom Dix. Is he going to have anything on coming down towards the Ravazza? Come down the hill now. This is the last battle on the track, as you can see from your driver tracker. He's going to go defensive is Hansen. Oh, and there's going to be a bit of a tap on the rear there.
That's the
from
4X.
Tom Dix. Yeah. It's a 4X if ever there was one. They both skirt the grass, but it is going to be Chris Hansen who comes home in 21st place.
Well, there we go.
See, racing right up until the end there.
And Tom Dix gives it a bit of a celebration over the line. A kiss with the wall as well. So to run through the rest of your order, Alexandre Loro 17th, Andrew Dawson 18th, 19th Alan Curtis, 20th Matt Hale, 21st Chris Hansen, as we see there, 22nd Tom Dix, 23rd Craig Brown, David Whitehouse 24th, Peter O'Connor 25th, Joshua Wong, Tom Edwards, Chris Powell, Josh Wellard and Andrew English wrapping out the field. Wow, that brings us to an end of tonight's racing. Howard, sum it up for us. I think it's been a good one tonight.
I think it's been a great one. I've loved having these touring cars. I'm seeing a few people saying it on the chat that it's a good car and track combination. I think I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I said earlier on in the stream that I'm not sure I'd seen touring car racing around Imola. Now that I have, I'd like to see more. I think that was a lot of fun tonight. A few incidents and accidents, but I feel like, yeah, we talked about the tight and twisty nature of this track and how it's difficult to, well, hey, we saw the best drivers in the world of Formula One struggling to do that at points the weekend just gone. I think a bit of rubbing his racing was somewhat inevitable. I think these were good fun cars to do that in. And yeah, really good stuff. And I have to say as well, nice. I've been monitoring the in-game chat a little bit more tonight. It's been nice to see drivers that I know we can't get this across or show that chat at least to folks on the stream, but it's really nice when there are incidents. You're seeing drivers immediately, you know, apologising, admitting when they were in the wrong. It's a really good community feeling behind the scenes here. So that's been great to see as well. But I think on the whole, a lot of fun has been had this evening, and it's been a good round. I'd love to see this one again.
Absolutely. Round 6 has had a date change, so if you're not aware of this one already, it was due to be the 13th. No, I'm going to correct myself. The 12th of May. It was meant to be the week after the Spanish Grand Prix, but due to some work commitments, we've had to move it a week further back. So the next time we will have the 2021 Legends of Club 100 BUKC iRacing Championship will be the 19th of May. We will be at Barcelona, and we're looking forward to that one. Another new circuit to the series.
Absolutely, mate. Looking forward to it.
And as I say, that's in the beginnings of a very busy period for us here at Double Dash Motorsport Media. You will, in fact, I'm just looking. Let's run through the rest of April and what we've got. As we say, at the weekend we will be racing, not streaming, but we'll be racing in the Endurance Championship. We'll get some footage from that, and a vlog will follow shortly. The Sunday, round 1 of Wilton Mill Kart Club, that will be over on the Alpha Live channel with commentary from Double Dash Motorsport Media. The following weekend, and I now realise we're actually into May, but let's go with it. 1st of May, the next BUKC stream for the Mains Championship. We will be up the road from DDMM HQ at Shenington Kart Racing Club. Very much looking forward to that one. Another 2 weeks later, we've got the first stream of the Club 100 Sprint Series, so that will be the 16th of May at Wilton Mill. 19th, as we say, the next round of this championship. And then we'll finish off just that week with round 2 of the Wilton Mill Kart Club Championship. Howard, anything else for yourself this evening?
I think you've covered a lot of it, mate. But yeah, as we've been saying, it's really good to see all the championships coming back online now. Well, I mean, this one, of course, has been online throughout. But it's really good to see Club 100 in my calendar in the upcoming weekend again. Really looking forward to that, and obviously WMKC getting started again. Make sure that you are subscribed and have your notification bells clicked and all of that. And if you're ever lost for social media links, head to double-mm.com and all the links are there for you there.
I couldn't say it better myself. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your support this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the racing. I've been Andrew Mather. He's been Howard Mitchell. We've been Double Dash Motorsport Media. And we'll see you very, very soon again here on the DDMM YouTube channel. Night, night.